Hello dolls, and welcome back to another video. I am still on my journey from the year 1960 all the way to the year 1979, and today we've made it all the way to 1976. If you haven't watched all the videos leading up to 1976, make sure to watch them to get the full context, and also make sure to subscribe to not miss out on the rest of the late 1960s. But now, without any more talking, let me take you back on a journey to the year 1976. Welcome to 1976, a time of bold individuality, artistic innovation, and significant political shifts. As the bicentennial of the United States brought a wave of patriotism, it also underscored a year filled with contradictions. Celebrations of freedom contrasted with economic struggles and social tensions. Globally, 1976 was a year of profound cultural milestones, from punk rock's explosive debut to the enduring glamour of disco, all while cinema and television embraced stories that both entertained and provoked thought. In politics, the year saw major changes and challenges. In the US, Jimmy Carter emerged as a fresh face in politics, winning the presidential election and signaling a shift in national leadership. Meanwhile, the Cold War continued to shape global dynamics, as leaders sought to balance diplomacy and defense. Economically, inflation and unemployment created challenges worldwide, but these hardships were met with resilience and creativity in many communities. Culturally, 1976 was a year of bold statements. Punk rock erupted as a defiant reaction to mainstream music, while disco continued its domination of the dance floor. Fashion reflected the diverse spirit of the times, with everything from tailored suits to bohemian styles coexisting. On the silver screen, films like Rocky and Taxi Driver offered both inspiration and gritty realism, while television captured hearts with shows that became cultural touchstones. 1976 was a year of political transitions and ongoing struggles. In the United States, the bicentennial celebration on July 4th marked 200 years of independence, bringing a wave of national pride. Amidst the patriotic festivities, the presidential election saw Georgia Governor Jimmy Carter defeat incumbent Gerald Ford. Carter's victory signaled a desire for change, as his campaign's focus on honesty and integrity resonated deeply with voters following the Watergate scandal, as well as Ford's controversial pardon of President Richard Nixon. Internationally, the Cold War persisted, with tensions between the US and the Soviet Union shaping foreign politics. The Angola Civil War continued, highlighting the complexities of Cold War geopolitics in Africa. In China, the death of Chairman Mao Zedong on September 9th marked the end of an era, leading to a power struggle that would eventually usher in reforms under Deng Xiaoping. Economically, challenges loomed in 1976. Stagflation, a combination of high inflation and stagnant economic growth, plagued many countries. In the UK, austerity measures and strikes reflected growing discontent. Despite these difficulties, innovations in technology and entrepreneurship began to sow the seeds of the future transformations. I combined the prices of the same products in every single video to draw out the price development from 1960 to 1979. And the three things that I chose to keep an eye on was a movie ticket, a loaf of bread, and a new house, as well as the annual household income to put everything into perspective. To buy a loaf of bread in 1976, you would need about 30 cents, while catching a movie would set you back around $2.13. A new house averaged around $43,400, while the annual household income was $16,000. The fashion of 1976 was as diverse as the cultural landscape, reflecting a blend of individuality, nostalgia, and innovation. With influences spanning disco, bohemian, ethnic styles, and a growing fascination with fitness culture, the era saw a convergence of tailored sophistication and free-spirited expression. Bohemian fashion thrived, drawing inspiration from ethnic textiles, flowing silhouettes, and earthy tones. Peasant blouses, maxi dresses, and layered jewelry reflected a laid-back, eclectic vibe that celebrated self-expression and individuality. The hippie movement of the late 1960s continued to cast its shadow, influencing this relaxed and artistic approach to fashion. Denim remained a wardrobe staple for all genders, with bell-bottom jeans and denim jackets embodying the casual, youthful spirit of the decade. Bell-bottoms, high-waisted jeans, and patchwork designs allowed for endless customization, reflecting the era's emphasis on personal style. Denim jackets, often adorned with patches, embroidery, and pins, became must-have items. Celebrities like Jane Birkin and Farrah Fawcett popularized these looks, while brands like Levi's capitalized on the demand, producing a wide array of denim styles for the masses. Around 1976, casual fashion adopted a Parisian-inspired peasant style. This included capes, turbans, puffy skirts, and shirts with billowing sleeves. These elements, often paired with layered accessories, evoked a romantic and nostalgic sensibility, blending practicality with whimsy. Evening fashion in 1976 embraced elegance with an edge. Dresses featuring butterfly sleeves, dramatic, wide, and flowing, were a standout trend, offering both sophistication and freedom of movement. Polyester became a favorite fabric for evening wear, prized for its durability and vibrant colors. These designs often incorporated metallic threads or bold prints, seamlessly blending glamour with the convenience of modern textiles. That is definitely what my look is inspired by. I'm wearing this dreamy prom dress from the 1970s. I love these like butterfly cape sleeves. It goes like all the way in the back, but you will see in the video up here. It's such a dreamy dress, and it's also polyester, and it has this really fun texture that you often see in like long skirts in the 70s, where you wouldn't need to iron this because the pleats are kind of like imprinted onto the dress. I absolutely adore evening wear from the 1970s. I think it is truly stunning, and I adore this dress. I've only worn this dress once maybe, because there's never an occasion for me to actually wear it, but my sister-in-law wore this on our wedding day, so it just remains a little extra special to me. Sportswear gained traction as everyday fashion, with brands like Adidas and Puma leading the charge. Tracksuits, sneakers, and logo tees became staples, reflecting a shift toward casual and comfortable clothing. This trend was influenced by the growing interest in fitness and the active lifestyle movement, marking a significant cultural shift in fashion. Ethnic and bohemian styles reflected a broader fascination with global cultures and individuality. African, Indian, and Native American patterns appeared in everyday clothing, adding vibrant and eclectic elements to wardrobes. Fringed accessories, flowing skirts, and embroidered details celebrated this cross-cultural aesthetic. Fashion magazines like Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and Cosmopolitan played a pivotal role in promoting the styles of 1976. Editorial spreads and cover models set the tone for trends, while advertising campaigns from brands like Calvin Klein and Levi's reinforced fashion's connection to personal identity. With the rise of consumer culture, fashion became a powerful tool for self-expression and social status. Roy Halston Frolick, known simply as Halston, was a defining figure in 1970s fashion. While he had already achieved fame for his minimalist fluid designs, 1976 saw him further refine his aesthetic. Halston's 1976 collection embraced the disco's era glamour, while maintaining his signature simplicity. He favored luxurious materials like silk and chiffon, crafting evening gowns that draped effortlessly, highlighting the wearer's natural form. His use of metallic fabrics and deep plunging necklines perfectly complemented the era's nightlife culture. Halston also embraced polyester, a fabric gaining popularity for its practicality and versatility. He transformed this modern material into sophisticated, wrinkle-resistant pieces that retained a sense of elegance. His ability to blend glamour with comfort made his designs accessible to a wide audience, cementing his status as a fashion icon of the decade. Hairstyles from 1976 ranged from the sleek sophistication to the bold and voluminous. Farrah Fawcett's feathered locks became an iconic style, inspiring countless women. Meanwhile, afro and natural hairstyles celebrated Black beauty and cultural pride, reflecting the ongoing influence of the civil rights movement. Makeup trends favored dramatic eyes and glossy lips, with women experimenting with bold colors and shimmering finishes. The disco influence extended to beauty, with metallic eyeshadows and glittering accents becoming popular for evening looks. The music scene of 1976 was marked by contrast, with disco, punk rock, and the soft rock dominating the airwaves and clubs. Each genre spoke to different facets of the decade's cultural mood, from escapism to rebellion. Disco reigned supreme, with artists like Donna Summer, the Bee Gees, and Casey and the Sunshine Band, delivering chart-topping hits that kept dance floors packed. Songs like You Should Be Dancing epitomized the infectious energy and glamour of the disco era. The emergence of punk rock in 1976 marked a seismic shift in music and culture, offering a stark counterpoint to the polished sounds of disco and the arena-filling grandeur of mainstream rock. Punk was raw, visceral, and immediate, a genre stripped down to its most elemental form. Its defiance wasn't just in the sound, but in the attitude, ethos, and presentation, serving as both a reaction to and rejection of the excess and the music industry as well as societal conformity. The Sex Pistols' debut single, Anarchy in the UK, released in November of 1976, was a cultural lightning rod. With snarling vocals, searing guitars, and confrontational lyrics, it was a declaration of discontent. The songs released challenged Britain's stagnant social order, where economic recessions, unemployment, and the disaffected youth created a fertile ground for rebellion. Its title alone, A Call for Anarchy, was incendiary, as it directly questions established norms and authority. In tandem, punk embraced a DIY ethos that democratized music. Unlike the heavily produced rock bands of the time, punk musicians often lacked formal training, and their approach to music emphasized energy and authenticity over technical perfection. The Ramones in the US, with their stripped-back, high-energy sound and minimalistic aesthetic, exemplified this ethos. Songs were short, fast, and loud, often clocking in at under 3 minutes. Similarly, The Clash combined punk's raw energy with politically charged lyrics, addressing themes of societal inequality and unrest. The impact of punk wasn't confined to music. It was a full-fledged cultural movement that influenced fashion, art, and attitudes. The punk rock look, ripped clothing, safety pins, DIY hairstyles, and leather jackets became as iconic as the music itself. The style, pioneered by figures like Vivienne Westwood and Malcolm McLaren, was a rejection of traditional fashion norms, favoring an aggressive, rebellious aesthetic. What made punk groundbreaking was its accessibility and its ability to give voice to the marginalized. In an era where rock stars seemed untouchable and disco exuded an aura of luxury, punk reminded people that anyone could create, anyone could express themselves, and anyone could challenge the system. It wasn't just music, it was a platform for individual and collective expression, anger, and creativity. By 1976, the seeds of punk rock had begun to sprout globally, but its essence, raw, defiant, and unyieldingly authentic, resonated universally. It wasn't merely a genre, but a revolution, leaving an indelible mark on the cultural landscape of the 1970s. Meanwhile, the Eagles released Hotel California later in the year, with its title track becoming one of the most iconic songs of the decade. Elsewhere, reggae gained international recognition thanks to Bob Marley and the Wailers. Their album, Rastaman Vibration, brought their message of love, unity, and resistance to a global audience, solidifying their status as cultural icons. 1976 also saw a band from Sweden release their most influential and popular album. In October, ABBA released their fourth studio album titled Arrival, a record that not only cemented their place as international pop icons, but also showcased their evolution as artists. The album's release marked a high point in their journey that had begun 2 years prior, when the band achieved worldwide recognition by winning the Eurovision Song Contest. Together, these milestones tell the story of ABBA's meteoric rise and their lasting impact on music. ABBA burst onto the global stage on April 6, 1974, when they won the Eurovision Song Contest with their infectious performance of Waterloo. Representing Sweden, the group, composed of Agneta Fältskog, Björn Ulvaeus, Benny Andersson, and Annifrid Lyngstad, brought a level of glamour and energy that Eurovision had rarely seen. The song itself was a masterpiece of pop craftsmanship, blending catchy melodies, bold brass instrumentation, and lyrics that cleverly linked romantic surrender to Napoleon's defeat at the Battle of Waterloo. Waterloo was a radical departure from the typical Eurovision fare of ballads and traditional folk-inspired entries. ABBA's flamboyant costumes, choreographed performance, and polished sound stood out, capturing the hearts and audiences across Europe. Their victory not only marked Sweden's first Eurovision win, but also launched ABBA into the international spotlight. The single became a chart-topping hit in multiple countries, including the UK, where it reached #1 and even made a significant impact in the US, peaking at #6 on the Billboard Hot 100. Following their Eurovision win, ABBA faced the challenge of proving that they were more than just a one-hit wonder, a challenge that they mastered like none other. Over the next 2 years, they released a series of successful singles, including Mamma Mia, SOS, and Fernando, solidifying their reputation as pop hitmakers. By the time Arrival was released in October of 1976, ABBA had already established themselves as global superstars. However, this album would take their success to even greater heights. Arrival was a showcase of ABBA's musical versatility and their ability to craft songs that resonated with audiences worldwide. The album featured some of their most iconic tracks, including Dancing Queen, Knowing Me, Knowing You, and Money, Money, Money. Each song demonstrated the band's knack for blending infectious melodies with emotionally resonant lyrics, underpinned by polished production. Dancing Queen, released as a single shortly before the album's launch, became an instant classic. With its lush arrangements, soaring vocals, and irresistible beat, the song captured the exuberance of the disco era, while maintaining a timeless appeal. It topped the charts in numerous countries, including the United States, where it became ABBA's only #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. The track's universal appeal and joyful energy made it the defining anthem of the 1970s and one of the most celebrated pop songs of all time. Arrival was a commercial and critical triumph, topping charts around the world and becoming one of ABBA's best-selling albums. It solidified their status as pop royalty and marked a turning point in their career, as they began to focus more on creating cohesive albums rather than just standalone singles. The record's success also helped ABBA break new ground in markets like Australia, where their popularity reached near frenzied levels, and the United States, where their star continued to rise. The sun is coming in and it is so truly beautiful. Cinema in 1976 offered a mix of gritty realism, uplifting stories, and groundbreaking innovation. One of the year's most celebrated films was Rocky, a story of perseverance and triumph that resonated deeply with audiences. Sylvester Stallone's portrayal of underdog boxer Rocky Balboa captured the zeitgeist of the American dream, earning the film multiple Academy Award nominations and cementing its place as a cultural classic. On the darker side, Taxi Driver, directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Robert De Niro, explored themes of alienation and violence in urban America. The film's gritty realism and unforgettable performances made it a landmark in cinematic history, challenging audiences to confront uncomfortable truths about society. Science fiction also made waves, with Logan's Run offering a dystopian vision of the future that combined cutting-edge visual effects with thought-provoking themes. Meanwhile, Carrie, based on Stephen King's novel, brought horror to the forefront with its chilling tale of high school torment and supernatural revenge. On television, Charlie's Angels debuted, captivating viewers with its mix of glamour, action, and female empowerment. Starring Farrah Fawcett, Kate Jackson, and Jacqueline Smith, the show became a cultural phenomenon, setting new standards for women-led action series. In comedy, Saturday Night Live continued to push boundaries with its edgy humor and memorable sketches, featuring a cast that included Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, and John Belushi. The show's irreverent take on current events and pop culture made it a staple of late-night television and a beloved favorite among many. I've watched a couple of the 1975 and 1976 Saturday Night Live episodes, and they're so funny, and I love how you can see the fashion and the style evolving with this series, because it's been running ever since. So, what does 1976 really add up to? It was a year of contrast and creativity, where celebration and struggle coexisted. The bicentennial festivities reflected a yearning for unity and pride, while economic challenges and societal tensions underscored the complexities of the time. In music, punk's rebellious energy clashed with disco's escapist glamour, showcasing the decade's diverse cultural landscape. Fashion embraced individuality, from glittering disco looks to earthy bohemian styles. Films and television offered both inspiration and introspection, capturing the era's spirit in unforgettable ways. 1976 wasn't just a year of transition, it was a year that set the stage for the cultural and political shifts to come. As the decade edged closer to its end, the boldness and creativity of 1976 remained a defining moment in the story of the 20th century. Come back tomorrow for 1977, the year that brought Star Wars, the peak of the disco fever with the opening of Studio 54, and the continued rise of punk rock. So that is it for today's video. That is it for 1976 with my 1976 prom look. I truly hope you enjoyed the video. I would love to know what your favorite moment of 1976 was. And as always, I cannot capture everything. So if you feel like something else that was important happened that year, make sure to comment it for everyone else to read and learn. I cannot end this video without trying a cup of tea. This one is winter fruit and it has berry and cinnamon. That sounds like a pretty wild combination if you ask me. But I guess on oatmeal you also put berries and cinnamon. Oh, that is a lot sweeter than what I expected. I never sweeten my tea and I'm not big on sweet tea. I don't know. It is nice and I really like the cinnamon in it, but it is actually a lot sweeter than what I expected. So that is it for today's video. That is it for 1976. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would love you to give it a thumbs up and maybe even share it with a friend. It supports me, it supports the channel, and it would truly mean the world. I hope you have a beautiful day. Go out, enjoy the sunshine that is finally here, and hopefully the snow. Take yourself some time to focus on you and your mental health today, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, dolls!